Hi, and welcome to the course Real Lean, where you will learn how to develop an impeccable team and to deliver amazing customer value. If you are looking for a proven method to consistently achieve your targets by working smarter rather than just harder, you're in the right course. If you're a manager of a team and you would like to develop in them a growth mindset of excellence and continuous improvement, you're in the right course. If you are new to the concept of lean, or even if you're an experienced lean practitioner and you want to learn just a new...
Errette, wow, I loved your video. Congratulations. Now, I just wanted to give you a few extra tips and suggestions to make your video even better, but honestly, you are off to an incredible start. So let's just talk about your delivery for a moment. I love the fact that you use your hands. I'm a hand talker too. And not that I'm saying that everybody has to be that way, but I wouldn't worry about it being too much. I think it's completely natural with who you are, and that's the most important thing. Your delivery is really comfortable. I noticed that you do have some internal edits in the video itself, and so my suggestion to you really has to do with trusting your script, trusting your content, making sure that you've prepared yourself by rehearsing or thinking through those major talking points, what I call thought bubbles, so that you can move from the sort of major aspects of this video more easily, as if you're having a conversation with a great prospective client or even an old friend who's asked you, so what have you been up to recently? It's the same idea. And I think with that, given in mind that you can give yourself a little permission to be yourself, it doesn't have to be perfect. I think that will allow that flow, that conversational energy to be even more available to your viewer. Take them on that journey when the viewer sees those cuts, it already sends the message of, wow, this guy had to do this a few times and then he just cut the best takes. Again, I'm so nitpicking here because I think you've got such a natural, charismatic presence on camera. So my only suggestion is to go with that even further. One of the suggestions that I have with all my clients is, explain your business as if you're talking to a 6-year-old. Really, just as if you're talking to a 6-year-old. Because while I love the subject matter and the sort of lean methodology that you're teaching people, make it so it's so obvious. Why lean is important for a business person. Why learning the lean method is amazing for your team. Why? Because they're going to be happier, more productive, more collaborative people. Something like that. Simple. Because I think there is a tendency, especially when you begin with scripting out your material, to use jargon that really makes sense on paper, but it doesn't necessarily communicate as well when you're filming. So you talk about impeccable teams and outstanding customer service. I'm paraphrasing here, but I remember impeccable teams, and that's great. But let's talk about, what does that mean? If I told my 6-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old, what does impeccable mean? It just means that you're doing your best. That you give it your all, you try your best, and people really like it. See what I'm saying? So I want you to play around with a few different versions of really making it simple so that people can connect with the essence of what you're saying really easily. But again, I'm talking about the polish here because all of it is there for you. Now, on a technical note, I just have a couple of things to add. I love your background. I think it's clean. I love how you integrated that light behind you to separate yourself from the background, and it kind of gives this glow effect. Really nice. It also sets you up with a clean background, so if you wanted to add graphics and text or insert videos, great methodology. Now, because you and I already spoke, I also know that you're shooting in a garage, which I think is great. Look, we're entrepreneurs. We have to be flexible. We have to use spaces that are available to us. And I think that is totally awesome. So if you can find a space where you can leave your materials set up, you kind of know what you're doing with your lights and the sound and the camera, and it's available to you, by all means do it. If we waited for the perfect background, the perfect space, something that's super professional, forget about it. It would be such a hassle to make that happen that we wouldn't be able to access it over and over again. And when you're using video, and you become so comfortable doing it, you're going to want to look for ways to use it in all aspects of your business. Not just your course materials if you're making an online class, but also to do marketing videos and to do videos in Facebook and to use it for your LinkedIn video profile. And it gets easier and easier, so you'll be more and more creative with it. So super thumbs up for having it in your garage. Psst. Anyway, so your background, I really, really like it. But I will suggest that maybe we could do a little fine tuning with your lights. I did notice there was some shadows happening on your face, so play around with light placement to even out that look so we get a nice, clean, bright image on your face, minimizing those shadows. One thing I also noticed, there was a little bit of shine on your face, so feel free to get a little powder, little face powder. Translucent, so it doesn't leave a color per se, but a little compact. You could just pat your face down a little bit. It does wonders for the camera because there is that saying of never let them see you sweat. It just works. So little powder goes a long way. Totally available in drugstores, no big deal, but super good idea. So you're going to adjust the lights. You're going to maybe use a little bit of powder. One thing I want you to also think about is a little splash of color. So you've got this dark background, typically white and black. When you're wearing it, it's not so great. Patterns aren't great too. So find a solid color shirt, and that may be a little more expressive because again, we're getting to know you. So we want to see you, and we just want to know a little bit of your personality, as long as it's also in alignment with what you're teaching. So you've got the lean business methodology, right? Okay, so that's business. So I think you're right. A nice button-down collared shirt makes a ton of sense. Just keep it, a little colored just so we get a little bit of insight about, it's kind of jazzier. You know what I'm saying? So I think you're going to look good. So when you're shooting this again, play around with those lights, a little powder. I want you to think about your material and your delivery in a way that's very conversational so that you can get from the beginning of the video all the way to the end, really, really effortlessly. And lastly, I want to go back to your script, a little bit of your content. Part of your story has to do with your success story. So in your video, you talk a little bit like, I was just like you, I made a lot of mistakes, which is great. You're sort of sharing your journey, but make sure you balance out those, I wouldn't say negatives, but those struggles with the wins. We want to really hear why you're qualified to teach this, the impact that it's made on your business and your clients. So make sure that that story is equally weighed in on as your struggles. And that way people will know you are qualified. Because while that may be in your bio, you want to make sure you share that story inside this video. I hope that's helpful. Go ahead and film again, and I can't wait to see it. And I'll provide a little bit of feedback on the other side. Thanks. Awesome work. Keep it up.